This video is for high school students because this program is focused on guiding high school students into becoming teenage business moguls. This program is called Pathways to Financial Freedom. Let's jump right in. But here's the thing. You're going to hear some things that you may not be familiar with. And so as you listen to this video, please write down notes and write down questions that you have, okay? And because during the Q&A session, we'll be able to respond to those questions, all right? So now let's jump right in. Now, what is financial freedom? Financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your cost of living. Now, what is passive income? Well, first, let's talk about what active income is. Active income is where you are trading your time for money, right? It's like you get a job and they're paying you for your time, or you start a business and you're working in the business and your clients are paying you for your time, right? You know what I'm saying? You're trading your time for money. That's active income, right? But passive income is where your assets are making money for you. Now, all of us have to start off with active income. Unless you inherit money, right? You have to make your own money, right? Unless someone's giving you money, right? You have to make your own money, right? You have to start off with active income. You have to trade your time for money. But here's the thing. Here's the goal, right? As you're making active income, you want to immediately start to invest some of that money into buying assets that make money for you. Because when you accumulate enough assets that are making money for you, then your passive income will exceed your cost of living and you will achieve financial freedom. And that position, you no longer have to work, you get to work, right? Work becomes optional, right? Because your passive income is covering your cost of living, right? So here's the thing. There are 7 types of income streams. 7 types of income streams. Number 1, W-2 income. Number 2, business income. Number 3, interest income. Number 4, dividend income. Number 5, capital gains income. Number 6, rental income. And number 7, royalty income. All right. Now, the best way to make money is by doing things that you love, right? Because really, if 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 you really enjoy your work, then your work becomes your play, right? So that's the best way to make money. And yes, you might be able to find a job that you really love, and that's cool. But most likely, the work that you truly love would be hobbies that you churn into businesses, right? And so I want you to think about what are some of your hobbies that you can churn into a business, right? Because really, every hobby can be a business if you market it in a way that brings value to other people, right? And like I said, if you do work that you love, your work becomes your play. And so here's the thing, business is all about solving a problem for someone and getting paid for it. So if you can turn your hobby into a business, and remember, a business is simply solving a problem for someone and getting paid for it. If you can turn your hobby into a business, then your work becomes your play, right? Now, let's do this. On your prerequisite worksheet, right? I want you to write down, right? Number 1, I want you to write down what are some hobbies of yours that you can churn into business. Write that down. What are some hobbies of yours that you can churn into a business, right? Write that down. Feel free to pause the video if you need to pause the video, right? To do that. All right. So I want you to think about hobbies that you can turn into business. Now, how do you start a business? Well, it starts with a business plan, right? Let's go through the 7 key sections of a business plan, right? So there are 7 key sections of an effective business plan. Now, as we go through this, I want you to write down your responses to each section, right? As you think about that hobby that you want to turn into a business, right? So, number 1 is market analysis. Market analysis, right? So, think about that hobby and think about this. What is the problem that your business solves, right? That's what market analysis is really all about, right? Is becoming clear on what is the problem that your business solves. All right, so market analysis. Number 2 is competitive advantage. So the question there is, what makes your business unique, right? So write that down. What makes your business unique? Number 3 is marketing. And that's all about who are your clients and how will you reach them? All right, so write that down. Who are your clients and how will you reach them? Number 4 is operations. All right, and that's about this. What is the detailed technical process that you go through to bring value to your clients? Right? What are the operations? Right? Number 5 is pricing. What price do you charge, right? What business expenses do you have? And what is your profit margin, right? Your profit margin, meaning the price that you're charging minus the expenses that you have to, spend, right? To make it happen. Number 6, finances, right? How do you track, how do you keep track of the money that comes in and out of your business, right? What is your bookkeeping like, right? How are you tracking your finances, right? So, and then the 7th part of the business plan is your executive summary, where you just summarize the previous 6 sections, right? So write that down. And remember, pause the video if you need to pause the video. All right. So that's the business plan. So up until now, we've been talking about how to make money, right? And we're talking about how to make money. But now let's talk about how do we multiply money, right? How can we, invest in assets that make us money, right? Well, let's talk about this. The concept of interest is the foundation of personal finance. It really is. You really have to understand how interest works to really be able to understand personal finance and investing, right? So here's the thing. What is interest? Interest is the money you pay for borrowing money, and interest is the money you earn for lending money. All right. So it's better to be the lender, not the borrower, right? So now let's go through an example. Okay. Let's say $10,000, right? And you're earning 10% APR, annual percentage rate, right? Interest rate is 10% that you're earning off $10,000, okay? So for the first year, how much interest do you earn, right? How much interest do you earn? It's 10% APR and the amount is $10,000. So how much interest do you earn in year 1? Well, you earn 10% of 10,000, and that's $1,000, right? So year 1, you earn $1,000. But how much interest do you earn in year number 2, right? In year number 2, you earn $1,100. How did it jump? How did it jump from $1,000 in year 1 to $1,100 in year 2? Well, the reason why is because in year 2, you earned 10% of that initial 10,000, but also you earned 10% of the $1,000 of interest that had accumulated, right? So that's how you earn. So that's why in year two you earn a total of $1,100 of interest. Now, what about year three? How much interest do you earn in year three? Well, in year three, you earn $1,210 in year three. Now, how did it go from 1,000 in year one to $1,100 in year two to $1,210 in year three? Well, because in year three you earn 10% of the original 10,000. Also, you earn 10% of the $1,000 that you earned in year one, and you earn 10% of the $1,100 that you earned in year two, right? All that accumulated, and so now and so that's why in year three you earn a total of $1,210. So do you see the pattern, right? Do you see how this is called compound interest? It's where you're earning every year, you're earning interest on the original amount, but also you're earning interest on the interest that has accumulated thus far, right? And so in year four, the interest you earn is 1,331. See, it keeps increasing every time. It keeps compounding, right? The interest is compounding, right? Because you keep earning interest on not only the initial amount, but also on the accumulated interest, right? And then so in year five, your interest amount that you earn in year five is $1,464.10. In year six, it's $1,610.51. And year seven, it's $1,771.56. In year eight, it's $1,948.71. The power of compound interest. It keeps compounding. And so every year you're making even more interest, right? And so if you add up all of those interests and you add it to the original amount, right? Then it increases. I mean, then just 8 years, right? In just 8 years, right? That we just did 8 years, right? In 8 years, the account balance grew from $10,000 to $21,435.88. It more than doubled in 8 years. Isn't that amazing? And think about this: passive income. Passive income, right? This is passive income. You weren't trading your time for money. All you did was you invested the money and you let the money make money for you. You invested in an asset, right? Like a typical, Roth IRA stock index fund, right? That typically makes around 10% APR, right? And you invested in that and it was passive income, right? It generated passive income for you, right? So now, here's the thing. Here's the key, all right? It more than doubled within 8 years. That's amazing, right? And so here's the key. The earlier you start investing, the more you will benefit from compound interest, right? Now, here's an example. Let's say we take an investment like $100 a month. $100 a month auto invested into a Roth IRA stock index fund, right? That's averaging like 10% per year, right? All right, so here's the thing: $100 a month into a typical Roth IRA stock index fund. Now, if a person starts at the age of 16, suppose you start at the age of 16 to invest $100 per month into a typical Roth IRA stock index fund. Well, by the age of 65, that account will become around $1,567,082. $1.5 million by the age of 65. But if you wait until age 26 to get started, that amount at age 65 will be only 571,324. So over $500,000, still a lot of money, but much less than if you had started at the age of 16, right? In fact, it's almost $1 million less, all because you waited 10 years to start investing, right? Now, and if you wait until the age 36 to get started, then that amount at age 65 would be 203,484, like $1.3 million less than if you had started 20 years earlier, right? So, what is this saying? It's saying that the earlier you start investing, the faster you build passive streams of income. And therefore, the faster your passive income will exceed your cost of living. And therefore, the faster you will arrive at financial freedom, right? So now let's talk about this, the framework of financial priorities, right? Well, here's the thing. Number one, I believe that your first priority as you're earning income is to give a portion of it away, right? Because there's something very powerful about giving to those that are in need, giving to a cause that you believe in, giving to an organization that you want to support, right? Give a portion away. Because when you give, you confirm to yourself that you have more than enough. And it creates this sense of abundance and gratitude, you know? So, first priority is to give a portion of it away. Second priority is this: if you don't have an emergency fund, you want to prioritize developing an emergency fund, building an emergency fund. Now, ultimately, you want to have an emergency fund of at least like 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. But that can be a lot of money. But here's the thing: you want to take it in baby steps, right? As Dave Ramsey would say, baby steps. And so you want to start with a $1,000. Your goal, if you don't have at least $1,000 saved up in cash, you want to make that a priority. Save up $1,000 in cash. Make that a priority, right? And then later on, we can expand that to be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. But the first, goal, baby step, save up at least $1,000 in a mini emergency fund, right? And also, by the way, very important, use a high yield savings account. See, not all bank accounts are the same. There's a special type of bank account that many banks offer, and it's called a high yield savings account. It's a type of savings account that pays a high interest rate, right? And so now a regular savings account will pay only like less than 1%, but a high yield savings account will pay like anywhere between like 4 to 5%, right? So you want to find a bank that offers a high yield savings account, right? And in fact, on your notes, I even have that number 4. You want to research high yield savings accounts at the local banks in your area and choose one of them. And in the space below, write the bank's name and the interest rate that the bank pays regarding its high yield savings accounts. All right. So in my area, a very popular bank is Capital One. And Capital One right now pays like over 4% for its high yield savings accounts, right? So you can look into Capital One. Also, I would say compare it to at least 2 other banks that offer high yield savings accounts, and look at what their interest rates are. Okay. Also, going back real quick to number 3 on your worksheet is, what organization or special cause or person do you plan to give money to? Right. Become clear on how you want to give money, a portion of your money away, right? So okay, so now high yield savings accounts, definitely look into that, right? Because you want to your emergency fund, right, needs to be money that's in a very safe place, like a savings account. But you want to make sure that your savings account is a high yield savings account and not just a regular savings account, right? Because you want it to make that high interest rate, right? So now Number three, pay off all high interest debts, right? Now, if you have any type of high interest debt, you want to prioritize getting rid of high interest debt, right? Number four, employer sponsored retirements. So, when you work a job, some of these jobs offer a retirement plan, and if they offer a matching where they will match your contribution, right? Then you definitely want to take advantage of that matching, because that's free money. But if they're not offering a matching, then you don't want to participate. You most likely do not want to participate, because the fees most likely will be very high, right? The hidden fees in those types of accounts are very high. So I say, in general, you only want to participate in an employer sponsored retirement plan if they are matching your contribution. And you only want to, and if so, you only want to participate up to the match, right? So that's that. Now, number five, expand your emergency fund to become a fully funded emergency fund, which will be like anywhere between 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. Number six, save up for special purchases. All right. So now on your worksheet, you want to write down, number five is in the space below, make a list of the special purchases that you plan to start saving money for, right? So, for example, maybe some of you want to save up to buy a car, or save up for your college education, or save up for a down payment on a house, or save up for a vacation, right? You want to save up for special purchases. Number seven, auto invest into a Roth IRA stock index fund, right? All right, very important, right? To start early, to invest, so that you start early to build passive streams of income. Because remember, the earlier you start, the more you can take advantage of the power of compound interest, right? Number eight, auto invest into a non-retirement stock index fund. Number nine, build multiple streams of income through entrepreneurship, right? Building a business. Remember, the best way to make money is to turn your hobby into a business, right? Um, Number 10, build multiple streams of passive income through business ownership, stock market investing, and real estate investing, right? Now, track and budget your money. That's very important, to track and budget your money, because awareness builds control, right? And really, a budget is all about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went, right? So you want to track and budget your money. Tracking every dollar pushes you to really think about how you are managing money, and it pushes you to identify any adjustments you need to make. All right. And my final thing is this: develop and maintain a healthy morning routine. That's very important, because how you start the day sets your tone, and it sets your momentum for the whole day. All right. So, and now remember, on your sheet, number six, research Roth IRA. And in the space below, explain what it is. Right. And then number seven, research stock index fund. And in the space below, explain what it is. And number eight is this, very important: research and select a Roth IRA stock index fund. And in the space below, write the name of the brokerage company, right? So here's some examples: Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, right? So write the name of the brokerage company, and write the name of the specific index fund, right? And here's some examples: Fidelity 500 Index Fund, which is the symbol FXAIX. Another example is Vanguard 500 Index Admirable, right? Which is the ticket symbol VFIAX. All right, another example: Charles Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund, which has the symbol SWPPX, right? Those are just some examples. But research and select right? You could select one of these or, in any, right? But research and select something, and write down now. And when you select it, right, write down the average annual interest rate of return over the last 10 years. All right. This is very important. And of course, right, we covered a lot in this session. Make sure you write down your questions, right? Because we're going to have a Q&A. Either I'm coming to your school or you're going to be attending an online Q&A session. And it's very important that you have your questions ready to ask. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys very soon.